Alright, so the big three: J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
Basically, you have Kendrick and top, and then would you say J. Cole is second or Drake?
I say that it's Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake in the things that I value in music.
Who do you think has the most? Who do you think can multitask the most while making a song?
Kendrick, probably. I think he has the most artistic range. You know, he's gone into himself. He's gone into society. He's it's all hip hop. He stays in his art form, and he has like such good mastery over his art form. You know, so I would say Kendrick.
Would you say Kendrick Lamar is the one of the big three that has like the most accolades, or would that go to Drake?
I think Drake's shit is fake, so I don't really think about it. I disregard it.
Oh well, that is true because
Like, not to say that all his shit is fake. I'm just saying that he's not at a point where he can get away with a lot and still get a lot. And I feel like we crossed the line where it's like what is even real anymore, you know?
that is true. Well, I think I would agree that Drake is I guess like fake, because it's always been known that he has ghostwriters. So I don't know why it's a big deal like now that like they're going back and forth, even though it's like something fabricated.
Mm-hmm.
So Drake has no credibility in the first place, and I think it's interesting to bring this up. But they had a song together, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, called "Poetic Justice," and like as that song foreshadowed, this is poetic justice now. Like he kind of like last time he collabed with Drake and Kendrick, like last time they collabed together, it was in that song. So. And I think J. Cole and Kendrick have always been cool. I don't think they've like ever like had a question like, oh, this guy's legit. I think they both have always had like their own respect for each other.
Well,
It's always been there.
When you look at how things started, it's funny because I see the start of it is first person shooter, where you have J. Cole and Drake, and they're rapping together. And it's funny that it's not even the whole beef starts because J. Cole's rapping about how he's number one, he's Muhammad Ali and all that, and he's the one that kind of makes this narrative, puts this idea into Drake's song and about Kendrick. Because when you look at what Drake is rapping about, he's not really rapping about anything like normal, but J. Cole is.
That's true, because that means that J. Cole was the one who painted the narrative in the first place to be like, okay, Aubrey, this is like, I'm gonna collab with you, but like, I'm literally gonna body you in the song, because we all forgot he bodied him in the song too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna set my own agenda.
Right.
That's the two things J. Cole accomplished in that song. And I think he just kind of like, he even did his Kendrick Lamar diss,
mm-hmm.
just to fuel the flames for Aubrey to be like, all right, like this is war. And I think J. Cole did that because in like deep down, I don't think he likes Drake either. So I think he wanted to see Drake go down too.
So
that's a conspiracy of mine.
No, well, I don't need that, but you know, it's something. It says something that it wasn't like Drake didn't feel like he wanted to invoke that energy. Or now they're saying that supposedly he had sent like a feature, but then again, it's still J. Cole. J. Cole's the one that is inviting this narrative about the number one, even though you still have Drake. But when you have Drake doing it, it comes from this place of like this general, like how every rapper does it, like, oh, I'm number one, even though he's like the biggest. But when you get to J. Cole, he like shortens the list to them three, so that's when you kind of get. A lot of people say that, oh, supposedly Kendrick doesn't like the idea of being compared to them because in Kendrick's mind, he's above them because of all the artistry and stuff that he puts into his songs. And I agree with that even. But it's still like out of their respected genres, or, you know.
I mean, does Kendrick put in more work than like the other two? Like, yes, and that's been like, yes, he does drop like an album every 4 years or so, but like this just like this whole beef, it made us realize that like Kendrick could drop banger after banger after banger if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
So, I said like, it was J. Cole wrong when he said that like, yeah, he averaged like a good verse every 30 months. That dude was way wrong when he said that. And I know that's why he even named the album "My Delete Later" as a message to say to Kendrick, like, it's not that deep, fam. Like, I still have respect for you, and that's why I'm even gonna name this "My Delete Later."
Anyways.
Obviously, that's like where the meme came, like, "My apologize later." So that's like that's funny because it's like that's the meme. Like, oh, he apologized at first, but now everyone's forgiving him for like apologizing, which is the funny part. Because it makes us view J. Cole as a prophet type like persona now, because he even has that one song like "False Prophets." I just think like J. Cole does kind of like play chess at times, and this was one of like the examples when he did that.
Well, it was okay. So when you look at the beef, for example, you have first person shooter, which is J. Cole and Drake, and then after that you could say you have Like That, which is where it really starts, where Kendrick addresses them, and after that the first person to engage was J. Cole and My Delete Later. Like, you could say all this stuff about Drake and whatever, but in a way he put out a song first.
Hey, hold on, before you like move on to Like That, I do want to just say that, like, as you guys may know, like the album Her Lost, how it won what was the thing that it won? Like, it won over the Metro album, right?
Metro, yeah.
So that's where like Metro, like, in Future kind of like got thrown into the pit of that, and then that's why they also had like their own reasons to go at Drake. And the whole album basically is a Drake diss. And there's not only one album, there's two albums. And I think that's very important too, just to like mention. But
I also feel like maybe they're kind of milking the idea by the second. But J. Cole did release his diss first, and then he took it back. So yeah, he's out, whatever. And then after that, you get Push Ups, which is Drake responding to all this crap from Metro. And you could say that this is the strat for like Kendrick's weakening the big guy by like doing all this other crap. But you could also argue that Drake kind of entertains it because he needs to like fill his songs with like other shit, because he doesn't really have something for Kendrick, because he doesn't really have anything on Kendrick.
And that's true, and that's why he like, it feels like a mumble jumble like song where he's like trying to respond to everyone at the same time. And I don't know, maybe the internet just made it seem like, okay, like Drake is 1v1ing everyone like in one song. Like, yeah, it was a cool thing to see
Drake,
to do.
Drake wants that narrative too. He wants you to think that he's like taking on 20 people because that makes him look better.
Right. But, and then in reality, like, we know now that like with all everything that Kendrick has exposed, even with his songs. But like, that's when we get into the other songs, right? Like Push Ups.
Well, okay, so then you got Push Ups, right? And then after Push Ups, well, I kind of like to take when I'm listening. This is kind of like my playlist or my album in my head. I like to take a detour and listen to Champagne Moments by Rick Ross. I feel like that it kind of points this thing about how Drake is white before Kendrick does it, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It feels kind of weird to say that Kendrick has like the right to take away someone's N-word pass. Not because I have anything to do with that, right? But like, I don't know what how that works, but because it's two people, I guess in my mind, it like. But then again, that doesn't apply to me. But I feel like I see Kendrick's argument, how he code switches, so he's only exploiting.
It's because Kendrick, dude, he's the hero of the culture. He's not gonna say something out of pocket like that just because like there's a reason he's saying it. and it's just like we've all kind of thought that Drake has always been like a fruity, like a meme. That's why he's always been a meme, and everything is just recirculating again, but in the worst possible way for him that it could like gone, because now he poked the bear, and the bear like exposed everything.
Well, no, it's like I feel like it. People don't talk about how Kendrick, because you could say that lies or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're messing with their public perception like at such a level because of the voice that they have. So when they throw something like you're this, you're that, it makes a ring, because it's like, and then they're making it catchy. They're making it like jingles, like you're singing about how Drake is singing and he prefers A minor as his keys, and you're like, damn, that's in my mind now. Drake in A minor, the keys, and he likes mining, so he plays with miners. And I'm not sure if it's true, but and who's to say that he's not? Because I mean, at the end of the day, now we have a song that says it, and now we have this whole internet thing that's been described it as he does it.
And yeah, and the thing about Drake, he was telling, even in the song Push Ups, he was literally poking the bear more by telling him to drop, drop, drop. And I think that really backfired on him, and now he's like painting another narrative that, okay, like, yeah, you can drop 10 more songs, I'll see you later. Like, you see that switch up? It's kind of like Drake's songs, his own songs predict his own bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the song Fake Love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, he kind of projects a lot in his music. It's like, now we can kind of see that he foreshadows his own failure with the things. Like, he basically gave Kendrick Lamar all the evidence, and it's just crazy to think that, like, Drake just set himself up for failure since the beginning. Even with the song started from the bottom, like, that's not even true, dude. You were an actor. You didn't have to start from the bottom.
At that point, he starts to like so.
That's not humble.
Clouds, yeah, it's not. But then Kendrick brings it up about like how can we believe anything that you say when you lied about your past, you lied about all these things, you lied about your ghostwriters, you lied about your authenticity. That it's like hip hop is supposed to be authentic, right? But who you are the fakest person on the planet.
So in Kendrick Lamar eyes, how can a phony be part of a top 3 when there is no like? Because there's no one that's really checking like credibility. And I think Kendrick wanted to be that person of like of a voice for everyone to like say you can't paint that narrative of being the big 3 if you don't even have authenticity.
Anyway, so what song was that? That was you. Well, we get to Push Ups and then you get Euphoria, and then in Euphoria, it's kind of like in my mind, I like to believe that he kind of dropped the song for like all the types of people that would be enjoying, because it's like this is such a large thing. So Euphoria is kind of like this, kind of getting everything, this narrative of like taking advantage of the culture. Code switching to enter a space that you wouldn't have access to if you did it, and that I feel like that's what Euphoria is. And then you could kind of see in the end of the song how he's kind of like, we want you out of here, we don't want, if you can't say that because you're not part of us, and it's kind of like removing that.
Okay, and officially that was when their beef really started, when he responded with Euphoria. Mm-hmm. Now let me just look at some of the lyrics right here. So he does kind of call out J. Cole too in this song, but it's mostly like a Drizzy. It's like 6 minutes of pure Drizzy, BBO Drizzy slander. So
after Euphoria, you get 616 in LA, which is a good song. It was kind of forgotten because after that you kind of get the big moves after that. But in 616, you kind of get like, okay, this is Drake's thing. You did the back to back, and then he like took the stamp out too, kind of like saying like everything you can do, I could also do, because it kind of like says to like I'm acknowledging what you're adding or what you kind of gave, and I'm gonna use it against you. Could be like, yeah, I'm the best. Like I can do this too.
Wait, we also forgot about the tailor-made freestyle.
Oh yeah, tailor made. That's also one that got forgotten, kind of like 616, because they're kind of like uneven. But tailor made is supposed to they're like to go the responses, no?
Yeah, tailor-made was more of a like of a clickbait for Kendrick, so he can like be more motivated to drop. But that's also one of them. But 616 in LA is an interesting song. It's actually one of the most interesting songs because 616 is the literally Tupac's birthday. It also has some more important things to do, but yeah, there's like a lot of like things going on there that maybe a lot of us missed.
It's also kind of fitting from like an audience standpoint when I see memes where like they're comparing it to Naruto and how Drake is Orochimaru, and it's kind of telling how we all want him to lose in a sense. We see him as a bad guy, and to see the bad guy as like doing something, like if this was a play to like bring back the dead and bring back the not dead, I guess, like Snoop Dogg. But it's like, oh, what are you like trying to be the evil person here? You know, in a way. And I just think that's interesting because you're painting Kendrick as the guy that needs to like come and put you in your place. Like
He kind of did villainize himself in that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree. But then it comes to what was the next song from there? We have Euphoria
and 616. It's fun because in Euphoria he attacks kind of like, okay, you are not part of the culture, and then he kind of gets more like intimate to like, okay, how do you run your operations? And he does his things by kind of just describing, and you can kind of get the point off. Like, but according to him, Drake has a big team, which is already bad because it's like he got no mobility. He has too many people are in his kitchen, leaks and stuff, and then all the people hate him. And it's like this is how you. And then the closest people to you are like very questionable. So it's like, okay, so now we have the culture part of it, nah, and then you have the way that you run things, nah. And then that's kind of where he's kind of baiting that response.
and then it goes to
Family Matters.
Family Matters, which is the most interesting like drop of them all in my opinion, because that's when
That's
we saw
checkmate.
that was Kendrick like saying, nah, that was Kendrick like on some war type
That
thinking.
was check like that Blitzkrieg. That was kind of like, damn, that kind of did it where it was like, here's your thing, and the response was in the name. Where
And you know
like,
what, bro? I think that was the first crack in Drake's armor when that happened,
mm-hmm.
because we all know how everything else unfolds. But that was interesting because Meet the Grahams was dropped 20 minutes after Family Matters,
Mm-hmm.
which like we all saw that go down, and it was kind of amazing because Drake kind of like he thought he was gonna like respond, and actually like it backfired on
he's
him.
setting he like to him he like all his hard work is about to pay off, and he's gonna be the person like this 7-minute track where he's just going at everybody so here's the thing
7 minutes is too long.
Drake is trying to frame this thing as to be like, okay, now the boy's back, I'm gonna take on everybody, show it. But here's where he's making mistakes too, because it's like, why are you answering to these other people? Like, we don't even care about these other people. If anything, it's like we think that you're dumber for it, because it's like this dude should not be underestimated, and you're doing that by like going out. And it's like that kind of shows through the insecurity, you know.
Yep. He would respond to anyone that wasn't Kendrick literally at the moment, but yeah, we got Meet the Grahams, which was one of his like Meet the Grahams, which was like one of his most like I guess impactful songs.
Power play.
And it was really emotional to hear that song because it kind of made me look at Drake in a different way after like I heard it. I didn't really like. I don't feel like playing his music anymore because of it. It was just that
Psychological angle.
Yeah, it was just that like, and that was just kind of like I feel that was the one track that he was like really trying to like make a home run with, but.
And it's funny that he does it after Drake's power move. Like, okay, Drake's power move, here it is. And if you really think about it, after Euphoria, which is supposed to be like the kind of the basic one, you kind of get you skip his 16 whatever, and then you get Meet the Grams, which is supposed to be like it's showing like, oh, look at what all the things I can do, because it's like this is an emotion. It's like some it like changed everything. and that's like showing like this is the power that my music has.
So let's just dive into a little bit of what that song was about. He literally like
Getting more intimate again.
he called out every member of Drake's family, in which is just me. To me, it was like that crossed the line. But Drake was the first one who like even like brought out his family's name. So,
Yep.
like this is him poking the bear again. So he just kind of like shot himself in the foot by doing that.
After that one, I think it's like again, it's like okay. So now that we went through the way that you run things, let's see how the way that you have been running things, like the thing you produce, like your family branches, and how they're like all toxic, and it's showing like the way that you operate things. This is what it does, and it kind of like also speaks to the way that Kendrick is dissecting him. Like look at what you're doing, like, and I'm like comparing it to me as a comparison, because like even how he's talking to like use me as a mentor like instead. And after that, he like goes into the big thing, which is like and Not Like Us. He like copies Drake, because the main thing that Drake does is like the big songs.
Yeah, his mainstream like.
And then he goes into
song.
the darkest thing, which is like okay, and you like to like look at kids a certain way. And then he makes that a party anthem, and it's like, damn.
Freaky ass nigga, he the 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Let me hear you say OV ho. Say OV ho. Then step this
Party anthem, and it's like, damn. The worst one, he made it the most fun. When in Meet the Gramps, it's like the heaviest. And that was, and then you get the Heart Part 6, which is kind of like when Drake's like the white flag song, basically. He just kind of like
runs. The Heart
runs.
Part 6 is more like in a pathetic attempt to answer like about all these claims. And there's like once you start responding, once you start responding to claims like that on a song, you lose all credibility, because like that's not something
you made a pedophile song, like
it's not something that you can bounce back from anymore. So I think that was officially like the end of Drake.
Yeah. And then the last the BBL Drizzy, that's
the ending credits.
The ending credits, and that's the beef. And then someone shot up Drake's house.